Good morning, student. I, Mohammed Shaheer, welcome you all to the online classes of N.L.K group of schools. I am here today with part 6 video of chapter 1 Integers. In this video, we are going to learn about properties of multiplication. The first property of multiplication is closure property. The product of two integers is always an integer. That is, if x and y are two integers, then their product means their multiplication x multiplied by y is equal to z. Then z is also an integer. So we can say that if we multiply any two integers, the number we get only can be an integer. For example, we take two integers, the first one is 4 and the second one is 7. When we multiply them, we get 28. And in second example, there are two integers, the first one is minus 5 and the second one is 10. When we multiply them, we get minus 50. And we know that 28 and minus 50 both are integers. So we can say that if we multiply any two integers, then their product is also an integer, and this property is called closure property of multiplication. The next property, as you know, is commutative property. What is commutative property? The product of two integers remains the same if their order of multiplication is changed. So we in multiplication, properties of multiplication, we again can change the order, but the answer remains same. In subtraction, it is not possible. In addition of property, we can say that order doesn't matter, order doesn't make any changes in answer. But in subtraction, order is important. If order is changed, then the answer will be changed. Again, in properties of multiplication, we can say that the product of two integers remains the same if their order of multiplication is changed. That is, if x and y are two integers, then their multiplication x into y is equal to y into x. Either we can take x multiplied by y, or we can take y multiplied by x. The answer will remain same. We can understand it by an example. The first example is 32 multiplied by 2. When we multiply 32 by 2, we get 64. Yes, 64. And when we multiply 2 by 32, again we get 64. In both conditions, either we multiply 32 by 2 or we multiply 2 by 32. In both situation, we get answer 64. Again, in second example, we have two integers minus 4 and 2. If we multiply minus 4 by 2, we know 4 to the 8, and because one minus sign is there, then the answer is minus 8. And again, when we 2 multiply by 4, we know that 2 4 the 8, one minus sign is there, so minus 8. In both order, we have the same answer, which is minus 8. So we can say either we multiply x into y or we multiply y into x, we get the same answer. The answer remains same, and this property is called commutative property of multiplication. Now the next property is associative property. What is associative property of multiplication? The product of three or more integers remains the same even if their grouping is changed. If we change the group, even then answer remains same. That is, if x, y and z are three integers, then either we take x multiplied by group of y into z, or we take x multiplied by y, group of x multiplied by y, and then multiply by z. In both grouping, the answer will remain same. For example, we can take, in example first, we have three integers. The first one is 3, the second one is 4, and the third one is 2. And in LHS we grouped 4 and 2 together. Now we know that 4 to the 8, and when we multiply 8 by 3, then it becomes 24. It becomes 24. Now if we take group of 3 and 4 together and then multiply by 2, we know that 3 4 are 12, and when we multiply 12 with 2, 12 by 2, it becomes 24. So we can say in both condition we have answer 24, which is same in both grouping. Now again we have some integers. In example second, we have -5, 4 and -3. So we group 4 and -3 together. We know that 4 3 is 12 and 1 minus sign is there, so it becomes -12. And now we have -12 multiplied by -5. So two minus are there, two same sign are there, then its product become positive, and 12 5 is 60. The answer will be 60. Now we can see what is happened when we change the group. Now we take the group of -5 and 4. We know that 5 4 is 20 and 1 minus sign is there, so -20. And now we have -3. Two minus signs are there, then its product become positive, and 23 is 60. So we can see in both situations the answer become 60. So we can say that in associative property of multiplication, the product of 3 or more integers remains the same even if their grouping is changed. Move to the next page. Now next property is multiplicative identity. When any integer is multiplied by 1, the value of integer remains the same. So if we multiply any of the integer by 1, the answer remains itself the integer. So if x is an integer other than 0, remember students, other than 0, because we know if we multiply 0 with any number, any of the number, the product becomes 0. So we have to take an integer other than 0. Then if we multiply x multiply by 1, it becomes x. ठीक है. Next understand करते हैं इसको with an example. 3 multiply by 1. We know 3 1 the 3. And if we multiply -25 with 1, it becomes -25 itself. So we can say if we multiply an integer other than 0 by 1, it becomes it has no change, it becomes itself. So one is called the multiplicative identity of integers. One is called the multiplicative identity of integers. Move to the next property, students. Now we have other properties of 0. When any integer is multiplied by 0, the product is always 0. If we multiply any integer by 0, then the product is always 0. If x is an integer and we multiply it by 0, then the answer becomes 0. ठीक है. For example, the first example is 45 multiplied by 0, then it becomes 0. If we multiply -27 with 0 by 0, it becomes 0. So in both condition we can see that either we take positive integer or we take negative integers. If we multiply any integer by 0, the answer becomes 0. It is called property of 0 of multiplication. Move to the next property. Multiplicative inverse. It is one of the most important property of multiplication. When an integer other than 0 is multiplied with its reciprocal. Remember student, the word reciprocal. What is reciprocal? In integer we can say if we take 1 upon integer, it becomes the reciprocal of an integer. Even we take if we take any rational number x any fraction x upon y, so x is, you know that x is called numerator and y is called denominator. If we make an inverse of it, if we take y upon x, then it becomes its reciprocal. It becomes its reciprocal. So in integer, we know that integer has whole number, and upon 1 is written, so it becomes, the numerator is x and the denominator is 1. And when we take reciprocal of it, it becomes 1 upon x. It becomes 1 upon x. So if we take any integer, the product of any integer with its reciprocal, the answer become 1. You can say x cancel हो जाएगा and it becomes 1. So डेफिनेशन एक बार और पढ़ लेते हैं मल्टीप्लिकेटिव इनवर्स की. व्हेन एन इंटीजर अदर देन 0 इज मल्टीप्लाई विद इट्स रेसिप्रोकल, द प्रोडक्ट इज ऑलवेज 1. इफ x is an integer other than 0, then x multiplied by 1 upon x is equal to 1. For example, if you multiply 15 by 1 upon 15, so we can say 15 1 the 15, 15 1 the 15, 15 से 15 cancel हो गया and the answer is 1. If we take minus 36, then its reciprocal is 1 upon minus 36. Minus 36 से minus 36 cancel and the answer will 1. Move to the next property, distributive property. It is also very important property of multiplication. According to this property, multiplication distributes over addition and subtraction. If x, y and z are 3 integers, then look at x multiply by sum of y and z. X multiply by sum of y and z. If we take this, then we can multiply x multiply by y, then plus sign, then x multiply by z, which is written in the right side of equal sign. X multiply by y plus x multiply by z. If we take LHS and RHS, the answer will remain same. So it is called distributive property over addition. And if we look at this formula, we have x multiplied by y minus z. So we have to multiply x multiplied by y, then subtraction sign, then x multiplied by z. X multiplied by y minus x multiplied by z. This property is called distributive property of multiplication over subtraction. Let's understand with its verify it with an example. Suppose we have 3 integers, minus 2, 5 and 3, and it is written minus 2 5 plus multiply 5 plus 3, sum of 5 and 3. So we can write minus 2 multiply by 5, then plus sign, minus 2 multiply by 3. If we take LHS, LHS first, in LHS of equal sign it is written minus 2 multiply sum of 5 plus 3. We know that sum of 5 and 3 is 8, and 8 to the 16, and 1 subtraction sign is there, so the answer is minus 16. Let's solve RHS of it. Now it is written minus 2 multiply by 5, 5 to the 10, 1 subtraction sign is there, so answer is minus 10. Now minus 2 and 3, minus 2 and multiply by 3, the multiplication of 3 and 2 is 6, 1 subtraction sign is there, so answer is minus 6. Now we have 2 negative integers and between them plus sign is there, so we have to find the sum of minus 10 and minus 6. We know that if both sign are same, then it add, and if because both in both integer they have negative sign, the answer will become minus 16. So we can say that LHS is equal to RHS, so we can say this property is true. Okay, let's move to the next page. Now we have exercise 1.4, page number 10 of your maths book. Okay. Question number 1 is written, multiply the following using suitable rearrangement. We have a few questions written over here and we have to solve it. We will solve. Multiply the following using suitable rearrangement. There are 4 integers written and we have to multiply it. Remember student, the property of multiplication, associative property of multiplication. What is associative property of multiplication? If 3 or more integers are there, then we can multiply it by making group of some integers. Now we take the suitable rearrangement karna hai. Now we take the group of two integers because 4 integers are there. We know that 24 5 for the 100 we can just multiply it by orally. We can multiply it orally. So we take the group of 25 and 4 and 60 and 5, minus 60 and 5, and group of minus 4 and minus 25. Okay, minus 60 and 5, I write here group of minus 60 multiply by 5, minus 4 multiply by minus 25. We can take any of the group, the answer will remain same, because associative property says if we change the grouping, the answer will remain same. So you can multiply it by taking other groups, but I will take the group of minus 60 and 5 and minus 4 and minus 25. When we multiply minus 60 with 5 by 5, we get minus 300. 5 6 is 30 and 1 0 is there, so it becomes 300 because minus 1 minus sign is there, and we know that minus product of 1 minus and 1 plus becomes minus. So product of different sign is minus. Now we have minus 4 and minus 25. 2 minus sign are there, same sign is there. So we can say if same sign is there, then the answer become, then the product become positive, it becomes plus, and we know 25 for the 100. Now we have to just write minus 3 and 20 here, 20 here. When we multiply 300 by 100, we get 30,000. Because 1 minus and 1 positive, 1 negative and 1 positive integer is there, then the answer will remain negative. So the answer is minus 30,000. Next question number 2 is verify the following. As we do, we did the with an example in distributive property. Now we have to verify the following. It is question number 2 of your exercise 1.4. Page number 10. The question is written 26 multiplied by 6 plus minus 4 in LHS, and RHS written 26 7 multiplied by 6 and 27 multiplied by minus 4, which is true in distributive property. Let us verify it. Take the LHS. When we take the sum of 6 and minus 4, different sign are there, they subtract, because 6 has 6 is larger than 4 and it has positive sign, so answer will 2. Now when we multiply 26 by 2, we get 54 here. So the answer of LHS is 54. Let's solve the RHS. Now we have 26 multiplied by 6. When we multiply 27 by 6, we get 162, and plus sign we put plus here, and now we have 27 multiplied by minus 4. If we, because 1 positive and 1 negative integer is there, so answer will remain negative, and when we multiply 27 by 4, we get 108. So the answer is minus 108. Now we have 1 positive and 1 negative integer there, and between them plus sign is there, so we have to find the sum of 162 and minus 108. Different sign, subtraction, and 162 is larger than 108 and it has positive sign, so answer will 54. So we can say LHS is equal to RHS, because in both side the answer is 54. So we can say we verified it. The answer is LHS is equal to RHS, hence verified. Move to the next question. It is question number 4 of exercise 1.4. Verify the associative property of multiplication of integers for the following values. Now we have to verify the associative property कि ग्रुपिंग चेंज करने पर आंसर चेंज होता है या नहीं. So x is equal to -2, y is equal to 3, z is equal to -4. We have 3 integers. First I take the group of -2 and 3, and we know then multiply by -4. We know 3 to the 6, 1 minus sign is there, so -6. -6 multiply by -4. Both are minus negative integers, so it becomes positive. The product becomes positive, and 6 4 the 24. It is the first grouping. Now if we change the group, now we take -2 multiply group of group of 3 multiply by -4. Then what will what will we get? Let's solve. -2 remains same, multiplication sign, and we know when we multiply 3 and -4, what we get? Yes, we get -12 here. Now we have two integers, two negative integers, so it becomes positive, and when we multiply 2 by 12, we know that 12 to the 24. So we can see in both grouping we have the answer 24. Either we take the group of -2 and 3, or we take the group of 3 and -4, the answer will remain same. So it verifies the associative property of multiplication of integer. Move to the next page. State the property of integers represented by the following statements. Some statements are written. We have to state the property of it. We have to tell the property. The first one is an integer is multiplied by 0 and it gives 0. What is the property? It is property of 0. It is property of 0 of multiplication. We are studying the properties of multiplication, so we can say the first answer of the first statement is property of 0. Move to the next property. It is 968 multiplied by 1. 968 multiplied by 1, it becomes 968. What is any integer when multiplied by 1? It remains same. What is the name of property? Multiplicative identity. Multiplicative identity. It is multiplicative identity. So the second answer is multiplicative identity. Move to the next one. 81 multiplied by 50 minus 15, it becomes 81 multiplied by 50 minus 81 multiplied by 15. 81 multiplied by 50 minus sign 81 multiplied by 15. What is the name of this property? This is distributive property. Distributive property of multiplication over, because it has subtraction sign, so over subtraction. Yes. So the answer of question number 6D is 81 multiplied by 50 minus 15. It becomes 81 into 50 minus 81 into 15. This property is called distributive property of multiplication over subtraction because it has subtraction sign here. That's it for today. Hope you understood the video and it helps you a lot. If you have any query, any doubts related to it, so you can ask me on your group, on your WhatsApp group. Thank you for today. Have a good day.